Hey guys, Farmer Jesse here today. I want to talk about lard. Why do I want to talk about lard? I love lard. Lard has a lot of flavor as a fat. It has a lot of cooking potential. You can put it in biscuits, you can put it in cakes, you can put it in cookies, you can fry stuff with it, French fries, fried potatoes, all of those things. But also, lard actually has some good health benefits too. So, high in monounsaturated fats, and it has stearic acid and vitamin D and omega-3s if the pig that the fat came from had eaten a lot of grass and a lot of good, forage. High in omega-3s. Anyway, today I thought I would show you how to render it and use it. So let's do it. Alright, so the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to locate some fat. Some pork fat, specifically. Lard is the fat of pork. You're going to need some pork fat. So, first thing you have to do is find a good source of pork fat. We get ours from Farmer Joe. Link down below. But any good farmer will be able to guide you in the right direction of getting good fat. So you have two different kinds of lard. The first is the leaf lard. This is the sort of cherished lard that you want for baking. It's great for frying, but it's good for baking. You can spread it on your toast. You can do a lot of things with leaf lard. It's kind of the most precious of the lards. But this is found kind of the fat that comes from around the kidneys and around the pork loin. And then there's another fat. The other lard, or the lard that you generally see, is just kind of the extra fat. The rest of the fat back, all the fat that isn't around those 2 or 3 spots, that's lard for everyday use. And it can be just as good. Really, we do a little of both because we can, because Farmer Joe has it. So, but it's not necessary. Any old pork fat is good. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna cube it up, and it doesn't have to be in tiny cubes or even equal size cubes. It's all gonna render down really small. So you just wanna cube it up as best you can to help it render more evenly and more quickly. It can be a little messy. This is the only time you really have to touch the raw fat. Next, you're gonna take just a little bit of water, put it at the bottom of a pan, and then you're gonna put all that fat into the pan. Next, you're gonna turn it on a fairly low heat. I don't know, below medium heat, just below it. You're not trying to fry it, you're trying to just slowly render it. All right, now you're just kind of playing the waiting game. You're gonna let that slowly render down till the fat is totally covered in actual lard. And then once it gets crisp, you will essentially know it's done rendering when it stops, when those little fat pieces stop. When those little fat pieces stop bubbling. This takes roughly, I don't know, depending on how much you do. We did 8 pounds last night and 6 pounds this morning. It's doing a ton of lard. We do it all at once and then we just get it out of the way. It'll take you 3 hours roughly. So after that time, you just turn it off and let it cool. And then you can start you can leave it overnight and let it harden up, or you can just, once it's cool, and it has to be cool, it's like fryer grease, so it's hot. Once it's cool, then you can kind of take it and strain it, run it through a strainer and get as many of those solids out as you can and put it into jars. So at that point, you can put those jars in your fridge or your freezer. Honestly, a lot of places recommend you keep what you're not going to use in the freezer. Hannah and I lived off-grid for many years without refrigeration, and we just kept it out and it was fine. I always think of Grapes of Wrath, where they had that giant barrel. I mean, it was a fictional novel, but they had a giant barrel with pork fat and pork in it, and they would just pull out the pork and eat it. Now, there's a reputation for it getting gross, and it doesn't really do that. I've never really, especially with good lard, I've never really run into a situation where it ever smells bad, where it ever gets rancid. We've used lard in all sorts of situations, all over the place. It's beyond salt, it's our most important ingredient in the kitchen. So we use it for frying everything. We use it for all sorts of things, and it's, it's great. It tastes great, it adds flavor, and it's easy to work with. So anyway, that's all super easy to do. So I hope you will try it, and I hope you will use it. And otherwise, if you like this video, please like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Share it with your friends. We like all those things. Also, tell us how you guys use it. Tell us how you guys use your lard. And we'll see you guys later. It's like about to snow, so party on. Bye.